What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. It is Friday, August 9th, 2019, and we're back with a new discussion video, this one being about one of the hottest hitters in baseball, Gio Urshela. Now, as always, the purpose of a discussion video is to discuss, so be sure to leave a comment with your opinion on the topic, and speaking of the topic, let's talk about Gio. Dating back to 2015, Urshela was once regarded as high as the Cleveland Indians' fourth best prospect in their system, according to MLB.com. However, Gio never really found his stroke with the tribe, hitting just .225 with a dreadful OPS plus of 56 over 458 plate appearances between two seasons. In May of 2018, after being designated for assignment, the Indians dealt Urshela to Toronto, where he would hit just .233 in 19 games for the Blue Jays. Then, in probably one of the greatest things to ever happen to him, the Blue Jays traded Gio Urshela to the New York Yankees in exchange for cash considerations on August 4th of that same year. Urshela would finish the 2018 season with the Yankees' AAA affiliate, the Scranton Railriders, not knowing the tremendous big league success that was to come in 2019. Now, in an at-the-time ideal world, Gio Urshela wasn't going to be anything close to an everyday player for the Yankees. His projected role was a guy who'd probably see a collective 15 to 30 games due to injuries and his versatility. However, after a bunch of big names landed on the IL, including a shoulder injury to the Yankees' everyday third baseman Miguel Andujar, Urshela found himself in the Bombers' starting lineup by April 7th. Andujar would return to the lineup May 4th, but in the time he was out, Urshela was excellent. In 23 games, he hit .338, had an OBP of .405, all while providing much better defense than the 23-year-old Andujar. But just 11 days later, Andujar would hit the shelf again, this time for good, agreeing to undergo shoulder surgery that would end his 2019 season. With the Yankees' everyday guy out, that opened up what ultimately became a season-long spot for Gio Urshela. Now, on August 8th, Gio is hitting .323 with a .367 on-base percentage, a .570 slugging, 16 home runs, 59 RBIs, and a .142 weighted runs created plus over 327 plate appearances. He's been unbelievable. The poster boy of the next man up philosophy, if you will. He's went from being an under-the-radar possible backup infielder to a lock to start the postseason in 2019 for the New York Yankees. I just can't say enough about him. But somehow, according to advanced stats, Gio Urshela is a negative defender, although still better than Andujar analytically, but the eye test says otherwise for me at least, about Gio's defense. Now, what's going to be interesting is what happens next year for sure. Do the Yankees deal Andujar? Is there a spring training competition? I'm sure I'll make a video on this topic sometime after the postseason, just not right now. Alright, so as always, I like to include your guys' voice in the discussion videos. So before we wrap things up, I'm going to read off some of your guys' comments about Gio. Alright, starting us off is Davis Ozawa. He says, Gio has been arguably the most consistent Yankee this season on both sides of the ball and in terms of health. He has made just as much of an impact as DJ and gone from DFA to Yankee lore. No, yeah, for sure. I mean, the impact that he's had is arguably, just like you said, as great as anybody on the team. Maybe even DJ LeMahieu. I'm not too sure about that. But in terms of the next man up mentality, I think David Cohn said this, or maybe it was Ryan Rucco. He really has to be the MVP of that next man up mentality. He's been tremendous. Charlie the Beagle says, the guy went from an OPS under 550 and being DFA'd by the Jays and the Indians to an OPS above 900 and batting third for the Yankees. Yeah, it's crazy. He has an OPS of around 935 now after Thursday night's game with the Blue Jays. He's been tremendous. Stephen Wolfe says, Gio is the greatest third baseman that the Yankees have had since 2 decades. Well, that is definitely not true considering Alex Rodriguez retired in 2016 and he's the greatest Yankee third baseman of all time. So there's that. So I disagree with you there, Stephen Wolfe. Walter Vogelman with 2 N's says, Gio Urshela is the greatest defensive third baseman I've ever seen in my life, and his batting consistency only makes Yankee fans and I more happy to have him on the team. Yeah, he's really been pretty damn consistent for the Yankees. Besides a stretch in, I believe it was June or maybe early July where he slumped a little bit, but besides that, he's been tremendous. Robert Ramirez says, I would have to say that Andujar probably lost his job and will more likely be traded, but Gio has had an amazing season. Yeah, I mean, I'm all Gio. I mean, with the defense he provides, and he's pretty damn good with the bat too. Very good with the bat, I should say. And I was actually never the biggest fan of Miguel Andujar, and I'm not sure if they're going to trade him. I definitely wouldn't mind a trade that involves Miguel Andujar, assuming you get a good package back. Same goes with Clint Frazier. I'm not even emotionally attached to Clint Frazier in the slightest, so I wouldn't mind if they trade him. So Andujar and Clint Frazier, they're on the trade block for me. I'm not sure what'll happen though. G-Dog 2022 says Urshela is a god. Yep, pretty close to it. Jose Eduardo Bernal Caballo says Gio is a great star that Yes got. He's a Colombian boy from Cartagena, a star in the sky. Oh wow, I didn't know he was from Cartagena. That's cool. Big Palm says honestly he's playing better than A-Rod. He just needs his ring now. All right, Gio Urshela is a great player for the Yankees right now. Stop the A-Rod comparisons. He's not better than A-Rod. Megan Talk LeBron says, trade Andujar for pitching, even if it means giving up Frazier too. Urshela has a third base on lockdown, and his bat is as good as the best. He's humble too. Like I said, I'm totally open to trading Miguel Andujar and Clint Frazier. It would have to be for, a starter worth Miguel Andujar and Clint Frazier, because keep in mind, just because we're not the biggest fans of Miguel Andujar and Clint Frazier anymore, that we don't need them, they still are assets that hold a ton of value. So, you don't just give them up for a bag of balls, you got to get a good starting pitcher in return. And maybe it'll deal them separately for two starting pitchers. Who knows what will happen. I think one of the two will definitely be traded by spring training of next year. Colby Chen says, I love Gio. He has been one of my favorite Yankees to watch this year. Yeah, definitely fun to watch, and he's been a hero for the Yankees. All right, last one comes from Sage Sargent. He says, because of Urshela breakout, Cash may be willing to trade Andujar and Clint, and plus others for an actual good starting pitcher. We don't need any more DHs or Luis Cessas. Well, speaking of Luis Cessa, he's actually been pitching pretty damn well over the past month. But in regards to the beginning of your comment, I'm not sure what pitchers out there that we're going to trade Andujar, Clint, and others for. I'm not really thinking of them all off the top of my head. But yeah, I definitely think we're at least going to get one or two, and maybe even three starting pitchers in the offseason. So whether or not Clint or Andujar or Clint and Andujar are a part of that, we'll have to see. But it's definitely going to be a fun offseason. But right now, all I care about right now is that the Yankees get past Houston and end up winning the World Series for their 20th World Series championship. All right, so that's going to be all for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. And as always, be sure to follow me on social media at Dan Allen Work on Twitter and on Instagram, and at Yankees Avenue at NYY Home Runs on Instagram. That'll all be in the description below. And be sure to use code NYYHR for $20 off your SeatGeek purchase. That's a wrap, and I'll see you guys next time. Let's go Yankees.
Her body's gold like September. She burns through the night like an ember. And all those things we try forgetting, I remember. But we say we all fine, we all fine. Sunny day dreams and we up now. Vodka lemonade, I serve it up, it goes down. 75 degrees in a dope sound. All you need to live fine, to live fine. A little sunshine, cause she need it. A dose of rainfall in the evening. The waves crash down and we feel them. Say here's to the nights we steal them. And I be running cause I figured out, the more I slow down, the less I get out. And if we fall, let's be strong now. Moving along, we don't mind, we don't mind.